to come and listen to what I have to share today about productivity hacks and apps that every small business needs to know. And I'm really excited about this because you have the power to change your world. Now, I'm not saying that to sound cliche. I'm saying that because you truly have the power to change your world. Every single one of you, deep down inside of you, has the most powerful device known to man, the most powerful app known to humankind, and that is the power of vision. So whether that's the vision of the future of your business or the future of your industry, it could even be the vision of the future of your family or perhaps society, you have the power to see things inside of you before they become a reality. And therefore, you have the power to control the future. But your vision is powerless if it stays inside of you. If you do not share your vision with others, it will die with you. So we're very fortunate that we live in an era that we've had some great visionaries give us some absolutely brilliant examples of what it's like when you share your vision with others. In 1983, Steve Jobs was a speaker at the International Design Conference. Now, 1983, that's 36 years ago now. It was 25 years before the iPhone was first released. The World Wide Web had not been invented yet, and CDs didn't exist. During Jobs' talk, he gave an analogy. And now, I want you to remember that at the time, the word app or software application didn't exist either. Take a listen.
Here's a challenge for you. One is make a great contribution, have fun, make billions of dollars all at the same time. There are about 20,000 programs for the Apple II. There's for the IBM PC, which is the second most popular one now, there's about maybe 2,000 programs. That's a lot. When you go to buy one of these things, you don't know what to buy. You go ask the computer dealer, which one should I buy? And that person doesn't know. They're out selling computers. They're not looking at software. So they just give a bullshit answer and you buy it. Maybe you're happy, maybe you're not. Now, compare that to records. Most people walk into a record store and know exactly what record they want to buy. They don't go up and say, what record should I buy? They know exactly what record they want to buy because there is a phenomenon of the radio station, a free sampling, so that we make our decisions before we go into the distribution center for the record. We need the equivalent in the software business. We need a software radio station, quote unquote.
So, would anyone like to take a guess, or does anyone know what product Steve Jobs was visioning during his talk? Phone, yeah, good answer. Internet, absolutely.
App stores.
App stores, perfect. So in 2001, Steve Jobs released iTunes, which could be the record app. And then a few years later, he released the App Store, which could also be the radio station for computer software, couldn't it? Yeah. So when the App Store was first released, it had 552 apps available on it. And the world was changed forever. Now, Apple alone upload 20,000 apps to the App Store every month. And this explosion of apps is absolute bonus for you and I. And the reason for that is because I know that inside of you, you have a vision that you're working really hard on right now. And you need to take action on that vision to make it become a reality. I also suspect that you are busy trying to pack as much life and family and business into your 168 hours each week in order to achieve that goal. So we need to start taking action to move towards it because the vision is just the first step. So what I'd like to do today is I just want to showcase a few apps that I use and that my team at Profitability Virtual Assistants use, as well as some apps that our clients use as well. Now, I'm doing this in the hope that you will find one or two apps throughout the talk today that you can go back and use in your workplace And that's going to make you more productive and more efficient and achieve your vision faster. Sound good? Excellent. All right, so the very first productivity hack, so a hack is like a tip or an efficiency that we can implement, is that we need to get 7 to 9 hours sleep. So as a business owner or an entrepreneur, it's really important that you operate at the highest efficiency, and in order to achieve that, you need 7 to 9 hours sleep. Studies show that only about 5% of the population can survive on a sustained period of 5 or less hours long term. Now, who here loves their snooze button? And if you're on the Facebook Live, by all means place that in the comments as well. Love your snooze button? Alright, so for those of us that hit the snooze button, it's a really bad habit to get into in regards to productivity. Now the reason being is you are generally in REM sleep when you are woken by your alarm, and when you hit that snooze button you go immediately back into REM sleep. Then when you're woken up another 5 minutes later, you're actually experiencing what's called sleep inertia. And that's that drowsy, groggy feeling that you have in the morning, and it can take a few hours to actually come back up to speed and be productive. So what we need to do is we need to try and get up as soon as our alarm goes off. But for me, as a person who used to hit the snooze alarm, you know, I've been known to hit it up to 3 times in a row, that was a really difficult thing for me to get over. So I found an app. Now this app is called Gentle Wake Up. So what this app does is on your screen it will gradually brighten over time, and you can set how long that takes. I set mine to 20 minutes, and it mimics the sunrise. So it gets your body ready for the sun rising. Then as it gets closer to time, closer to your alarm, you can actually set sounds to it. So the sounds will start off really gentle, and they'll get louder and louder over time. So every morning I now wake up to the waves rolling in. At first they're very quiet and they roll in very gently, and then they get louder and louder as the time goes on. But my body is already tuned to waking up. So when I finally wake up and realise that the waves are rolling in, I don't need to hit the snooze alarm. Up I get, and away I go for my day, and I'm far more productive than if I hit the snooze button. Now once I'm up and out of bed, I head straight to the bathroom to get ready for work. When I go into the bathroom, the very first thing I will see attached to my mirror is my quarterly execution plan. Now this is an idea that was given to me by Business in Bare Feet, who I know are great friends of the SmartHub here. And what Linda had suggested is that we pick 15 goals to achieve over a quarter. Now, as Elise alluded to, I'm a little bit quirky. I love the number 8, so I have 16 goals. So what I've done is I've broken it down into 8 areas, which is the 8 areas that our business covers. And I just nominate 2 goals per quarter to achieve in each of those areas. Once I have that greater vision for the quarter, I'll then go and break that down into weekly tasks that I'll schedule into my diary. And so every morning before I even have my uniform on, I've had a look at what my goals were and where I'm up to with them. And it means that I'm more productive during my day. Then, as Tony Robbins said, you need to live every day with an attitude of gratitude. Again, studies show that people that actually outwardly say or acknowledge 3 things every day that they're grateful about, they're happier, they're healthier, they're less stressed, and they're more productive. So I use this fantastic app called Gratitude Journal. It's nice and colourful. The thing I love about it is you can set a reminder on it, so it'll remind you that you need to be grateful for something. It's got lots of colours in it, and you can also attach photos to it too. For anyone in the room who's also into positive affirmations, which is all those I am statements, you can do positive affirmations in here too. Alright, so now that I'm up, ready and grateful for my day, I head straight to the fridge where I have meals prepared for the week. So my husband and I go shopping every Saturday, and every Saturday afternoon we turn on some tunes, we have something to drink, and we'll cook up a storm. And we will cook breakfast, lunch and dinner for an entire week in one afternoon. Then we have all that in the fridge, so when I get up in the morning and I'm ready to come to work, I don't have to spend any extra time getting my breakfast ready. I pull it out the fridge, I jump in the car, and away I go. So, jumping in the car. I am now in my motor vehicle university. So I love to learn on the go. Now I live down the beach, so I do have a commute every morning and afternoon from work. However, apparently over 2 million Australians have more than a 90-minute commute every day to and from work. So why not use that time wisely? So I have my mobile phone Bluetooth to my car, and I will listen to Audible, which is an app, which is a bookstore app, if you like, for audio books. And I might listen to books about managing small business, marketing, human resources, whatever it might be, whatever tickles my fancy at the time. If I'm not listening to an audio book while I'm driving, I might be listening to one of my 5 top favourite podcasts, and I've listed them all there. Does anyone here have a podcast that they love that they'd like to share? No? Marmia? Excellent, thank you. So check that one out too. The other thing I'll do is as a small business owner, you know there is so much to do inside your business. There's so much to learn and so many skills you need to have. So what I have been known to do as well is to actually look up how to achieve something on YouTube. And before I leave the house, of course, I will set that video off and I will listen to it while I'm travelling to town, and I'll teach myself a new skill. So use the time in the car wisely. Then when I get to work, our entire business is run in the cloud. So our app of choice is Microsoft OneDrive for Business, and we have 8 virtual assistants spread throughout Queensland. So we're not all in the same location, so we can't actually use like a network that's physically located in one spot. So all of my team use the cloud to access all of our clients' files, all of our own policies, procedures, etc. From the cloud. And if you haven't moved your business to cloud storage yet, then I really encourage you to do so, because if your computer was to ever die, you could be losing a lot of valuable information and wasting a lot of time trying to get that back. Another thing that we use is SharePoint. So SharePoint is like the intranet for a business, and you get that with your Microsoft OneDrive. So we have, on our SharePoint, each of our departments has their own page where they can quickly access all the information they need, all the programs that they need. And we also have a home page where our team meetings and team agendas and all that kind of stuff can be accessed from as well. So by all means, move to cloud storage. Next is Asana. Who here loves a to-do list? I love to-do lists. If you love to-do lists, then Asana is the tool for you, because Asana is a to-do list on steroids. So our whole business is run on this, and it's free for the level that we're using. They do have paid programs as well, paid levels as well, but our whole business has been able to run on Asana for free. Now, we're able to break our business down into teams, so we have all of our different teams there. Underneath those teams is every single client that belongs to that team, and then under those clients is every single task or project that we need to complete for them. Then as my team go through and complete tasks, they tick them off, and I'll get a notification that that particular task has been finished. I'm able to assign this to different team members, and I'm able to assign different due dates. We're able to attach files to it, photos to it. We're able to have direct conversations in Asana as well about particular projects, and we can tag each other as well. So this is absolutely brilliant, and I've given you some alternatives there as well. Yeah, sure.
We've been using Slack for some time for general chat.
Yep.
And then someone came up with one with us the other day because we can actually assign tasks, time frames, all those sorts of things. But it's doing my head in a little bit that now I have 2 apps.
Yes.
To communicate about what we're doing with one group of people. Does Asana do everything that those 2 do individually?
It does. Yes, it does. Yeah. So I'll go to the next slide. Oh, I haven't got it on the bottom of the next slide. You can sort of see it here. There's a comment box on the bottom of each slide where you can actually talk directly about that particular item or task. So it combines Slack and Wonderlust together. Wonderlust is kind of like the baby version of this. Now, one other thing we use Asana for is for our team procedures. So it's really important, if you want to be productive in your business, that you need to write down what all your procedures are, so when you have new staff come on board, they can get up to speed as quickly as possible. Because of course that first training period is what does take a bit of time to get someone onboarded with you. So we have every single task that we ever need to achieve in our business so far written out, and we have all the steps, individual steps of what needs to happen. And so, for example, I've got new bookkeeping client onboarding here, and every single step that needs to occur on this side. We're even able to include email templates in there. So our particular business has a certain tone in which we talk to our clients with, and therefore it doesn't matter who's on our team, they're all able to use those email templates and talk in exactly the same tone with our clients. So really cool app. Next, we have Grammarly. Quite a few entrepreneurs drop out of school. They drop out of high school or they do not get through university because their idea is just bursting out of them and they'd much rather be making money than making an education. So what happens with some of these guys is they're just not as confident with their spelling, their punctuation or their grammar when they're operating their business. So you can install an app like Grammarly and it will actually sort of look over your shoulder and make sure that the emails that you're writing, the social media posts that you're doing, or the documents that you're writing all have the correct spelling and grammar and punctuations in them. So if you're not confident, by all means check out Grammarly. Now we have Buffer. So for those of you who are heavy on social media and it's taking up far too much of your time during the day, I suggest sitting down and writing a number of posts in one go instead of trying to think of one a day. Sit down, write a week's worth at once, write 2 weeks worth at once, 4 weeks, whatever you can handle. And then you can go into an app like Buffer and actually schedule those posts over the period. Buffer had a free app for, free level for up to 3 social media profiles. And again, I've listed some alternatives there if you'd like to check out other apps that you can use to schedule your social media. Planoly is a good one if you are an Instagrammer and you want to schedule it on Instagram. Now this one here again is a productivity hack as opposed to an app. So something that we suggest to our clients who are really, really interested in pushing out a lot of content about their business and about their products and their services, but don't necessarily have a lot of time on their hands to do so. So one little tip for them is to actually do a Facebook Live, send it to one of these apps. So we have rev.com and we have Temi. Now, what these apps here will do is they'll actually transcribe your live for you. So you can download it off Facebook, send it to these guys, and they'll transcribe it word for word for you. Now, Rev costs about $1 a minute to have your transcription created, but in all honesty, their accuracy is probably sitting at around the 98% accuracy mark, and Temi are 10 cents a minute. Just bear in mind with Temi, their accuracy is probably sitting at around the 85–80% mark. So it just depends on your budget and how particular you are with the accuracy of your transcription. Then once you've got your transcription through, you can actually polish up that transcription and turn it into an article or a blog. And you can share that article directly onto LinkedIn, or you could share the blog onto your website. You can read through your transcription and perhaps pull out a few shorter pieces of really valuable information and use them as your posts on your social media. So use it as a tweet, pop it onto Instagram, use it on your Facebook page. You could also use particular apps such as, and I do have them written down, one's InShot, Camtasia, iMovie and Video Editor to perhaps strip out the audio from your Facebook Live, and you could upload that to, say, SoundCloud and start a little podcast. So if you want to create lots of content really quickly and you're short on time, consider this productivity hack. Now, is anyone interested in doing online courses or creating online courses for their communities? If you are, this little baby is going to be your best friend. Profitability is now spent over the last 12 months trying to get an online learning centre created for small business owners so that they can educate themselves on various things that small business owners need to know. We were having a lot of trouble trying to get that online learning centre onto WordPress, which is what our website is based on. The moment we found Mighty Networks, we were off and running. They have all the foundation for us and we just have to upload the content onto there. So this is what Mighty Networks looks like as a landing page, and this is our landing page. If anyone would like to join us on the Small Business Learning Centre, feel free to copy down the URL and join us there. What it allows you to do, when you get into Mighty Networks, it actually looks a bit like a Facebook news feed when you arrive there to start with, but you can have separate areas locked off as well. So if you're delivering courses, you can have an e-course section. Now in that e-course section, you can have free courses or you could have paid courses. They're working right now in allowing businesses to have a fee per course that goes into the Mighty Networks. So you can have people have free access to the entire network and only pay for certain courses that they're interested in. At the moment, the subscription for your members, people that want to join you, you can either have it set to free, which is what we've got, everyone's allowed in there for free, or if you wanted to, this could be a paid community for you where you either charge a monthly plan or perhaps an annual plan to them. And you set up all that criteria inside Mighty Networks. So I actually think that this app is going to go through the roof over the next couple of years. It gives you a site on a PC, but it also gives you personally, your business, an app on a mobile phone as well that people can access. It's really, really cool. For those of you who are sick of social media disrupting your day and interrupting your productivity, Freedom is an app that you want to introduce yourself to. So Freedom allows you to set either recurring sessions to block websites or block apps, or you can have it so they're just completely removed from your computer. Now, we've actually recommended this to some clients who were perhaps having trouble with staff, who also were getting distracted with social media on work time. So they can install the Freedom app onto their work computers and it will block, potentially social media sites if that's an issue for your business or your team. But what I do is I actually have this set, so at 5 o'clock every afternoon, Freedom kicks in and it kicks me off social media, and I have between 5 and 11 p.m. at night where I can't access social media if I wanted to. So I really need to spend that time being productive and achieving the things that I didn't get to achieve during my day. Another one is Stayed Focused, and it's great if you use Google Chrome. You can set Stayed Focused on Google Chrome. All right, Zapier. Has anyone used Zapier before? No? Okay, well Zapier is like the Tinder for apps. Zapier connects apps with apps. So if any of the programs or software that you're using, you want it to talk to another bit of software or a program, instead of doing that task manually, perhaps you'll find a Zap that will achieve that for you and it will automate that task. So for example, we've got a client who uses Acuity Scheduler, which is a scheduling tool for booking retreats and one-on-one consultations, perhaps courses. Now when someone registers for one of her courses, for example, Acuity Scheduler has a Zap that tells MailChimp, this person's registered and here's their details. It automatically adds them to that campaign list in MailChimp, and they start receiving those emails directly out of MailChimp without her having to do a thing. So there's over 1,000 apps you can choose from. If you're using particular apps inside your business now, what I recommend is go to Zapier, do a search on the app that you use the most in your business and see what else it connects to and what other tasks you could be eliminating from your day. Because of course, the more that we can automate, the more productive we're going to be. A similar one to Zapier is IFTTT, and that stands for if this, then that. If this, then that. So very similar to Zapier, where it will notice that if you receive add schedule MailChimp campaigns to Google Calendar. So again, it finds one app that's doing something and then it will go and tell another app to perform a separate task. Again, just automating apps between each other. Because what we've found, and what a lot of our clients have found too, is unfortunately there's not really software programs out there these days that we've found for small business owners that kind of is a one-size-fits-all and does everything for you, unless you want to pay $1 million for it. So if you're able to find free apps or cheap apps that work really well for your business, utilise them and see what else you can get them to do for you with a Zap or with a if this then that applet. Right, we are getting near the end, so cloud accounting. Hopefully everybody is acknowledging that cloud accounting is a great way to save time and be productive inside your business. As of the 1st of July this year, the ATO have made it compulsory for all businesses, even with 19 or less employees, to start reporting on single touch payroll. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically if you have employees inside your business, you need to report every single time you pay them. You have to report the PAYG that you paid for them and their super as well. And if you're doing that via an Excel spreadsheet, that's going to be quite time consuming for you. So today, this year's the year to consider whether you want to move to one of the cloud accounting solutions, because they generally have very minimal, or they have reports with very minimal actions needed to push that report from the cloud accounting software through to the ATO on your behalf. When you're using cloud accounting, it is really annoying and boring to be doing data entry. So one app that we recommend is Auto Entry. Now Auto Entry is very similar to Receipt Bank, if anyone's familiar with Receipt Bank. However, it is cheaper and, in my opinion, less clunky. So with Auto Entry, it's quite simple. You just download the app to your phone. When you get a receipt, say a fuel receipt, you just take a snap of it with the app on your phone and upload it into your Auto Entry account. When you do that for the very first time, you'll have to tell the app that it's for fuel and that it's got GST attached to it. And if you classify that to a particular class or department or anything like that, you have to tell it all that information too. But the next time I go and get a fuel receipt, I snap it, I send it to Auto Entry, and then it's automatically inputted into my cloud accounting software for me, and I don't have to do any data entry whatsoever. I basically just reconcile it straight out of my main feed. Another one is if you want to be super duper productive in your day, play to your strengths. If you are a plumber, for example, you're going to be a fantastic plumber. You might not be that great at updating your website. So any tasks that you identify that you need to do as a small business owner, and there's a multitude of them, anything that you don't consider a strength, consider outsourcing it to a virtual assistant. Now, just to be fair, yes, this is profitability virtual assistants and all the things that we can help you with. But if we're perhaps not a good match for you for any reason, you can also look to Fiverr or Upwork or Freelancer, and you can go to those particular sites. You can generally just type in the task that you're wanting to have achieved, and they'll start sending you back quotes or information on how much that would cost for you to get that done. But do consider outsourcing your weaknesses and focus on your strengths, because your strengths are where you're going to make your money. And finally, after a long day, having all the apps take care of the work for you, mind you, but a long day doing your sales processes and getting your business, your vision on track, it's time to head to bed and try and get that 7 to 9 hours sleep again. But at the end of a very long day, with so much going on, sometimes that can be really hard to stop your mind from talking to you as you're trying to get to sleep. So one thing that I've found handy is an app called Insight Timer. Now, Insight Timer has free guided meditations inside the app, and you can just select which ones you like, what's your preference, or you can select how long you want that meditation to go for. And what I normally do is I normally hit play on my favourite meditation as I jump into bed, and then I just listen to it as I'm drifting off to sleep, and it just stops that chatter in my head so I can get to sleep quicker. Okay, so which productivity apps and hacks support your vision? Thank you.
Okay, questions? Who has a question?
It's a lot to take in. Just in regards to podcasts, I've never actually even used them before. Do you protect podcasts, or are they certain podcasts, or are they...
No, they're generally free podcasts, yeah. So you can actually just download there's a lot of different podcast apps available in your app store. You can download a podcast app, and then what I suggest is if you follow particular people because you like the work that they do, search for them in your podcast app and see if they've got a podcast there that you could listen to. Or if you're trying to develop a particular skill, or you're in an industry and you want to keep up to speed with that, just search for that type of topic inside your podcast app, and you'll be able to subscribe to different podcasts. And so most podcasts, people that do podcasts, they'll have a regular series, and they might release a podcast once a week that you can keep up to date with for information that interests you. Steve? Did you have a question?
Yeah, just on, if you've got some businesses that are a micro, either 1 or 2 or 3 people,
Yep.
what would be the first, I know you've been through a whole bunch of them, what would be the first app that you would suggest for a client?
Asana for me, absolutely. Asana or one of those to-do list apps. And the reason for that is because as the business owner, they can actually download all the thoughts and all the procedures that they know need to be done. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you've only got sort of 1 to 4 employees, things do not need to be perfect.
Thank you.